Hello, my name is Sean Bernard. I'm a 19-year-old Indigenous student from Turtle Island, also known as Canada. I've noticed at this COP that when we're talking about biodiversity, we're only talking in a scientific way of it being a physical resource, when in reality it's much more than that. It's a mental health issue, it's an identity thing. This is how we know who we are and where we come from. So it has a lot more aspects that I wish people would talk about more here, and I think that's why me being an Indigenous perspective is important to be involved in this space. I think my biggest hopes is being able to come here and not only represent myself, but like a underserved community and from Canada, and to represent that as a whole. And to say Turtle Island instead of Canada means a lot to me. My experience here, not a lot of people get that, especially from my community. And so I felt that responsibility the first time around on COP26 when I returned home. I did more logistic stuff of starting a smart renewable energy, electrification energy pathway in my reserve. And so I actually got all my community members down to come join together, and we looked over the energy that was being used and how we can better it and what it was affecting our land. And we talked about it in a cultural way as well, and that really moved the community to move in that direction of renewable energy. But now this time, I believe I'm going to be coming back to represent as a global citizen, and to tell the other youth in my community that you can also be that global citizen by starting locally, starting in your community, and causing that chain reaction of hope. Because I never thought I can do this, but now that I'm starting to see more, we're coming to the light now, and we're coming out. I don't see any Indigenous people from Canada here, and sometimes I do feel isolated because I can't relate to the other people here. But that's where I think there's also power with that, because of the diversity. That's the main point why we're here, is to all come together in the same path and to learn from each other, and it's all about giving and receiving, giving information, giving your perspective, and receiving others. I really see the connections that we're growing here and the importance of that, just coming together with all the diverse perspectives. And that's what being a global citizen is to understand that everyone is walking in a different path, but that doesn't mean that in this path to a better tomorrow doesn't mean that we all have to be separated. We may be walking in different shoes, but we're still walking on that same path at the end of the day if we all come together. I feel like the conversation with children are becoming more important throughout each COP that I go to. However, there is more people who are questioning what us children are doing here. So the Global Child Biodiversity Declaration started 5 months ago. Over 600 children across the globe collaborated. They're all from 23 different countries. We collaborated and started stating what we wanted to see within our education systems, what we wanted to see within our governments, within our countries. Children were stating what we needed to be able to go into a better future. And my role in that was that I was a lead youth mentor. And so since I went through the process before, they brought me back to help these students go through that process. And they also invited me to come here and to share my voice again and share my story and to keep amplifying that and showing that message of hope. So the declaration was made with 6 different actions. One of the final calls to action was this inclusion of traditional Indigenous wisdom to create more effective ways of protecting our environment and ensuring thriving global biodiversity for the future. We need to engage with diverse Indigenous groups around the world. This can be achieved by awareness campaigns, effective funding, and community engagements with Indigenous groups. We are stating now that we must include Indigenous traditional knowledge within our education systems today related to biodiversity. As an Indigenous youth who was just recently a child, you may hear that children are our future, and you may hear that a lot, but don't forget to state that children are today, and that you can walk this path with us now. To the children, you are able to amplify your voice and come into these discussions today and to declare what we need, and that we need to walk that path. So, hi. Children are our today. Thank you.